Staff Sergeant Robert Martinez's breath misted in the cool Pacific air. He felt the familiar tremor of his twin .50 caliber machine guns. Above the vast ocean, an unyielding military doctrine was about to be tested. Already 2 B-17 flying fortresses had plunged from the sky. They carried 20 men to their demise before the war carved its path globally. Martinez knew a different kind of precise, rapid action from his youth. From age 14, he mastered shooting galleries at his father's carnival in El Paso. By 20, he managed 3, observing how customers approached the erratic metal ducks. Careful, measured shots often missed. Relentless streams of pellets rarely failed to hit. Overwhelming volume often triumphed over pinpoint accuracy for unpredictable moving targets. In 1942, Martinez enlisted in the Army Air Force as an aerial gunner. His carnival experience was an unusual foundation for this role. At gunnery school, he learned established protocols, short 3 to 5 second bursts. These were designed to conserve ammunition. The tail gunner's position held 1,000 rounds, enough for maybe a minute of continuous fire before guns fell silent. Discipline, instructors taught, was paramount, yet training hit rates were barely 30%. Martinez experimented, applying his carnival method, hosing the target with continuous fire. His hit rate soared to 90%, but instructors reprimanded him for ammunition consumption. They warned such recklessness would leave him vulnerable in combat. Martinez remembered carnival chaos. Real targets don't follow neat patterns. In chaos, he believed, saturation was survival, and his B-17 El Paso Rose began missions. For 19 missions, Martinez adhered to Doctrine, firing controlled bursts. He achieved no confirmed kills, observing other tail gunners face the same struggle. Japanese Zero fighters were swift, agile. Attacks left fleeting moments to fire. Controlled bursts, delivering 30 to 50 rounds, weren't enough to bring down adversaries. The previous day, October 7th, had been particularly grim. 3 bombers from his formation had fallen, tail gunners unable to halt attacks. The standard approach was proving ineffective, and human cost was unbearable. That night, quiet resolve settled over Martinez for the next mission. He would set aside Doctrine and rely on his carnival knowledge. The morning of October 8, 1943, began with a 0600 mission briefing. The target was a Japanese airfield on Bougainville. Heavy fighter resistance was anticipated. At 0730, 24 B-17s lifted off. Martinez, in his tail position, had requested extra ammunition. His request was denied. He flew with the standard 1,000 rounds. By 11:30, the formation was over Bougainville. The bombing run commenced. Immediately, Japanese fighters scrambled. Radar reported over 30 Zeros converging. At 11:42, the first wave struck, 6 Zeros diving from above. Tracers filled the sky as B-17 top turrets engaged. 2 Zeros broke away, but 4 pressed on. Just 3 minutes later, at 11:45, Martinez watched as 2 B-17 erupted under cannon fire, spiraling into the ocean. 20 men were lost. Then at 11:47, he saw 14 Zeros coalescing behind the formation. They prepared a coordinated assault designed to overwhelm rear gunners simultaneously. Martinez's mind raced. 14 Zeros, 1,000 rounds. Doctrine dictated restraint, but instinct screamed, use it all. As 14 Zeros initiated their attack run in standard spread formation, Martinez made his choice. He would engage them all. At 11:47 and 15 seconds, the first Zero entered maximum range. Too far for accurate fire, but Martinez disregarded protocol, immediately opening fire. Both .50 calibers spit a continuous, unbroken stream of tracers. He led the Zero by 50 yards, saturating the airspace through which it would fly. The Zero flew into the torrent. Rounds tore through its right wing. It rolled violently before falling away. Kill number 1, 8 seconds into engagement. Without pause, Martinez swung guns toward a second Zero approaching from an angle. He poured 200 rounds into its path. The pilot attempted to evade, but it flew directly through the saturation fire. The Zero's engine took a direct hit. Spewing smoke, it broke off, trailing fire. Kill number 2, 16 seconds into the fight. Remaining 12 Zero pilots quickly grasped this gunner was unlike any encountered. He was hosing the sky with a relentless, overwhelming volume of fire. They adapted, spreading out, attacking from wider angles to exhaust ammunition. But Martinez still had 1,000 rounds in a fight lasting many minutes. At 11:47 and 45 seconds, 3 Zeros attacked simultaneously from left, right, and center. Standard doctrine demanded choosing one target. Martinez rotated, a continuous sweep of fire. 50 rounds into left Zero, then 50 into right, then 50 into center. All 3 took hits. 1 plummeted immediately, 2 pulled away severely damaged. Kill number 3 with 2 more probable. By 11:48, Martinez's gun barrels glowed fierce red. Convention dictated a cooling period. Martinez ignored it, firing without pause. 4 more Zeros attacked. He rotated through them, 30 to 40 rounds per target. 2 Zeros fell, 2 more broke off. Kills 4 and 5 were secured. At 11:49, with 600 rounds expended, 400 remaining, his right gun jammed. The barrel, warped from extreme heat, had seized. 7 Zeros remained. Martinez was down to 1 gun. Standard doctrine called for defensive stance. Instead, Martinez kept firing, doubling the saturation rate with his single weapon. A Zero attacked directly astern, its pilot likely believing the bomber was finished. As it closed to 600 yards, Martinez poured 150 rounds into its approach vector. The Zero flew through the continuous stream, its canopy shattered, pilot hit. The fighter tumbled. Kill number 6. By 11:50, Martinez's last gun began to misfire. The barrel was critically overheated, every 3rd round failing to chamber. This reduced his effective rate of fire by 30%. 6 Zeros remained. Japanese pilots, regrouping, knew his situation, observed his diminishing fire. They moved in for the finish. At 11:50 and 30 seconds, all 6 Zeros attacked together. Coordinating approach from 6 angles, arriving within firing range in 3 seconds. It was an impossible scenario for traditional defense. Martinez turned to saturation. He rotated through all 6, firing 30 rounds at each, 180 rounds total. This was a desperate 3-second burst of pure volume. 4 Zeros took hits, 2 immediately went down, 2 others broke off damaged. But 2 Zeros made it through, unleashing 20mm cannon rounds into the B-17's tail. The plexiglass of Martinez's position cracked, shrapnel flying. Martinez swung his gun toward one banking away, leading it, firing last 70 rounds. The Zero flew into the torrent. Its left engine erupted in flames. It spiraled downward. Kill number 7. 1 Zero remained and Martinez had 30 rounds left. At 11:51, the final Zero, flown by an experienced pilot, attacked from below. Martinez pushed his gun to maximum depression, aimed at the climbing fighter. He emptied his last 30 rounds in a 3-second continuous stream. The Zero climbed directly into the fire. Rounds struck its nose, propeller, and engine. The engine seized, the fighter stalled, then fell. Kill number 8. At 11:51 and 30 seconds, Martinez's guns fell silent. 1,000 rounds expended in just over 4 minutes. 8 Zeros destroyed, several others damaged. The remaining enemy aircraft withdrew. The formation was safe. Martinez slumped back, his hands trembling not from fear, but from incredible vibration of 4 minutes of relentless firing. His ears rang from the deafening roar of the guns inches from his head. Over intercom, Captain James Walker asked if Martinez was all right. He replied, then informed Walker, "I shot down 8 Zeros." When asked how, Martinez explained, "Continuous fire, saturation, the carnival technique." A 10-second silence stretched between them, then Walker's voice crackled back. Walker's voice crackled back. Gunnery school is going to want to hear about this. The El Paso Rose completed its bombing run and turned for home. The return flight was quiet. Japanese had lost too many fighters. When the bomber landed at Henderson Field, Guadalcanal, ground crew swarmed. They counted 47 bullet holes. The tail section, though severely damaged, remained flyable. Armorers inspected Martinez guns. Both barrels were ruined, warped from intense heat. When asked how many rounds fired, Martinez replied, "All of them, 1,000 rounds." The armorers stared. 4 minutes of continuous fire caused barrel damage. Maximum sustained rating was barely 60 seconds before damage. Martinez simply said the barrels held long enough. Intelligence officers debriefed him. They sought confirmation of 8 Zeros destroyed in one engagement. Film from bombers' cameras confirmed his claims, and he explained his method. He used saturation, honed at carnival shooting galleries despite official doctrine. By November 1943, gunnery schools taught Martinez's approach as optional. By December, it was mandatory instruction formalized as saturation fire. Robert Martinez flew 23 more combat missions, employing saturation fire 3 additional times. He brought down 6 more Zeros, achieving 14 confirmed kills. He became one of the highest-scoring B-17 tail gunners in the Pacific. He survived the war, earning the Distinguished Flying Cross. The citation spoke of extraordinary defensive actions, but not carnival galleries. In November 1945, Martinez returned to El Paso, back to his father's carnival. He knew his unconventional training had military value, saving lives. In 1987, a historian unearthed Martinez's engagement report. 14 Zeros attacked, 8 destroyed in 8 minutes. The historian found Martinez, then 70, in El Paso. When asked, Martinez explained, "Precision fails when targets are unpredictable. Saturation succeeds through probability. Fire enough rounds, something hits." He had no complex calculations, just years watching carnival customers miss. They missed by aiming too carefully. He learned to hit by spraying. The principle he understood was universal. A historian asked about that engagement decades later. Martinez paused, then spoke of 2 B-17s that had gone down. 20 men died because their tail gunners followed standard doctrine. If those gunners use saturation fire, he reflected, maybe those bombers survive. Maybe those 20 men go home. Robert Martinez passed away in 2008 at 91. His obituary mentioned carnival career and military service, but not the 14 Zeros, nor saturation fire, or how his unique understanding transformed aerial gunnery doctrine. Yet in U.S. Air Force training, his engagement remains a case study. Principles discovered at a Texas carnival transformed aerial combat strategy. His unconventional experience learned from ducks saved a bomber and changed doctrine.